January 22, 2025, News Report 1. On January 21, Reuters and the Independent Press Standards Organization, IPSO, released the first public opinion poll since President Donald Trump took office. The poll showed that 47% of respondents supported Trump as president, reflecting a reasonably favorable performance. Additionally, 58% of respondents opposed Trump's pardons for individuals convicted in connection with the January 6, 2021, Capitol riots. On immigration policies, 46% agreed with Trump's measures, while 58% supported significantly reducing the number of asylum applications approved at the border. This online poll, conducted from January 20 to 21, surveyed over 100 U.S. adults. The data indicates that Trump's approval ratings have remained relatively stable since taking office, particularly regarding immigration policies. News Report 2. According to the Associated Press, attorneys general from 22 U.S. states filed a joint lawsuit on January 21 against the federal government, alleging that President Trump's executive order to revoke birthright citizenship violates the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. 18 states, including Wisconsin, have filed suit in the Massachusetts District Court, while 4 states, including Illinois, have filed in the Washington Western District Court. New Jersey Attorney General Matt Platkin stated on Twitter that Trump cannot override the Constitution or long-standing legal precedents with a single executive order, calling it an unprecedented attack on the rule of law in U.S. history. He expressed confidence that the executive order would never take effect. In addition to these 22 states, 4 civil organizations, including the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, filed a lawsuit in the New Hampshire District Court on January 20, the day Trump signed the executive order, seeking a ruling that it is unconstitutional. The ACLU argued that Trump's actions directly undermine core American values, including the elimination of birthright citizenship and other immigration enforcement measures. In response, White House Deputy Press Secretary Fields stated that the administration is prepared to face the states in court. News Report 3. On January 21, President Trump announced he was considering imposing a 10% tariff on Chinese goods starting February 1. The news caused market fluctuations. On January 22, the renminbi exchange rate initially rose and then fell, closing at 7.28, down 2 points. Offshore renminbi traded at 7.2839 at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Meanwhile, the central parity rate for the renminbi on January 22 rose to 7.1696, up by 7 points but missing market forecasts by 946 points. The A-share market also experienced declines. According to Hong Kong's Hong Kong Economic Journal, a report by Nomura Securities on January 21 indicated that Trump might revisit the implementation of the 2020 U.S.-China Phase 1 trade agreement. The report found that China had fulfilled only 58% of the agreed import targets, including 78% for U.S. agricultural products, 57% for industrial goods, and 47% for services and energy products. Nomura estimated that to bridge the gap, China would need to import an additional $223 billion worth of goods and services, equivalent to the total imports for December 2024. Trump is also planning to review policies on duty-free parcels under $800 from China. Nomura estimated that a ban on all such imports could lead to a 1.3 percentage point decline in China's exports, severely impacting the cross-border e-commerce industry. News Report 4. Bloomberg reported that a recent study by consulting firm Bain revealed that China's luxury goods market experienced a 20% sales decline last year, the largest drop since 2011, due to economic slowdowns. Watches and jewelry were hit hardest, with sales dropping over 30%. Leather goods, fashion, and lifestyle products also saw significant declines. The report noted that even the wealthiest luxury brand customers in China are now spending more cautiously. Furthermore, Chinese global luxury consumption fell by 7% last year. Some analysts argue that Bain's report reflects broader trends but may underestimate the actual situation. Some believe the luxury market's performance is not just a plunge, but a collapse, with real declines possibly exceeding 50%. They also cited the near standstill in China's second-hand luxury goods market as further evidence of market stagnation. In addition, Xinhua news agency reported that China's Ministry of Culture and Tourism recorded 5.6 billion domestic tourist trips last year, a 15% increase from the previous year, with total domestic tourism spending reaching 5.75 trillion yuan, up 17%. Despite this growth, industry insiders noted that domestic tourism is experiencing a more visitors, less profit phenomenon. Due to intense competition, many travel agencies and hotels are offering discounts to attract customers, resulting in high traffic but limited profitability. News Report 5. According to Chinese restaurant industry media Hanken Wang, 3 million restaurants in China closed last year, setting a record high due to economic downturns and intensified industry competition. These closures included a wide range of establishments, such as cafes, bakeries, hot pot restaurants, tea shops, dine-in restaurants, and fast food outlets. Closure, exit, and withdrawal have become keywords in the 2024 dining industry, and analysts predict a new wave of closures in the first half of this year. Meanwhile, as the Lunar New Year approaches, restaurant reservations for New Year's Eve dinners have surged. As of January 16, bookings on the Meituan platform were 4 times higher than last year. However, Meituan noted that prices for New Year's Eve dinners have decreased this year. Industry experts stated that while customer traffic has increased, fierce competition and overall economic challenges have driven down restaurant profits, exacerbating pressure on earnings. News Report 6. Xinhua news agency reported that Wang Huning, chairman of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, CPPCC, stated at a meeting on January 22 that all sectors of society should view the economic situation comprehensively and dialectically. He emphasized the importance of recognizing development trends and boosting confidence in development. This statement is interpreted as a call for strict guidance over public opinion to shape a positive narrative about China's economy while suppressing critical voices. At the end of last year, renowned Chinese economists Gao Shanwen and Fu Peng had their social media accounts suspended after publicly discussing China's economic situation, drawing widespread attention. Some argue this highlights a greater focus on maintaining correct narratives rather than addressing real issues, raising concerns that such measures might stifle meaningful discussion on pressing problems and limit space for economic reforms and adjustments. News Report 7. According to Hong Kong Radio, an international credit agency announced on January 12 that it downgraded Vank's rating from B+ to B- and placed it on negative watch. The downgrade was attributed to declining sales, slower than expected cash recovery, and a series of recent negative events. The report also noted that Chinese real estate firms face immense domestic debt pressure this year, with Vank alone owing 32.6 billion yuan in domestic debts due. Additionally, Vank's president, Zhu Jiusheng, was recently taken in for investigation by public security authorities, causing a significant drop in bond prices. On the other hand, 21st Century Business Herald reported that Sunac China announced on January 21 that it had completed restructuring 15.4 billion yuan of domestic debt, making it the first real estate company to do so. However, Sunac's primary issues are with offshore debt, for which restructuring progress remains stalled. On January 10, Cinda Asset Management filed for Sunac's bankruptcy with Hong Kong's High Court, citing unpaid $30 million in guaranteed loan interest. The case is set for a March 19 hearing. It's worth noting that domestic bankruptcy applications by Chinese real estate firms often face policy restrictions, whereas creditors typically turn to Hong Kong for bankruptcy procedures when offshore debts go unpaid. This was seen in the case of Evergrande and may now also affect Sunac, reflecting sustained offshore debt pressure on Chinese developers. News Report 8. Radio France Internationale reported that Chunghwa Telecom in Taiwan announced on January 22 that 2 undersea cables connecting Taiwan's main island and Matsu had been disrupted due to aging. As a result, all communication between Taiwan and Matsu has been switched to microwave transmission. Chunghwa Telecom stated that Matsu's microwave bandwidth significantly exceeds its peak daily traffic, ensuring no disruption to communication, including critical infrastructure like government, banks, and hospitals. The two aging cables are scheduled to be repaired by the end of February. However, given Taiwan's geographical environment and current circumstances, many analysts suggest the country rely more on microwave or satellite communications, which offer greater resilience and security, particularly in the face of earthquakes or other emergencies. News Report 9. According to Hong Kong Radio, Hong Kong's National Security Department arrested 3 siblings of Chung Kin-hwa, former vice president of the Hong Kong Public Opinion Research Institute, on January 22, sparking public criticism. Commentators likened this guilt by association approach to inhumane collective punishment. Over the past 10 days, 8 people connected to Chung, including his wife, son, and former collaborators, have been detained as part of the investigation. Chung moved to the UK in 2022 and was placed on a wanted list by Hong Kong police late last year for alleged inciting secession and colluding with foreign forces. On January 21, the National Security Department also arrested a 36-year-old man for online posts deemed to incite hatred against the government, accusing him of violating Article 23 of the Basic Law. Critics argue that the broad interpretation of Article 23 enables suppression of dissenting views, fueling concerns about the state of human rights and rule of law in Hong Kong. News Report 10. Ming Pao reported that Greater Bay Airlines in Hong Kong announced on January 22 that it plans to cancel 128 flights to Japan and South Korea scheduled for February and March, affecting about 5,500 passengers. The airline cited delays in commissioning new aircraft and scheduled inspections of existing planes, leading to a shortage of operational aircraft. Greater Bay Airlines, formerly Donghai Airlines based in Shenzhen, was established in 2010 and rebranded in 2020. Now controlled by real estate magnate Wang Chou-biu, the company operates only 8 planes. Industry analysts speculate that the airline's name change aims to capitalize on the Greater Bay Area's brand, though its operational challenges remain significant. News Report 11. Radio France Internationale reported that France hosted about 100 million international tourists in 2023, a year-on-year increase of 2 million, generating a record 71 billion euros in tourism revenue. The successful hosting of the Olympics and Paralympics attracted many visitors, particularly from Belgium, the UK, Germany, Switzerland, and the US. However, Chinese tourist numbers dropped by 60%, and Japanese visitors fell by 30%. Meanwhile, Australian news outlets highlighted a severe shortage of skilled labour in Australia's construction sector, which has hindered housing starts. With housing demand far exceeding supply, rental and property prices have soared. The government aims to build 1.2 million new homes between 2024 and 2029 but started only 43,000 in Q3 of last year, well below the 60,000 per quarter target. To address this, the government plans wage subsidies, streamlined visa processes, and construction worker shortage designations to attract skilled migrants. Western Australia is also offering 10,000 Australian dollar subsidies for immigrants. News Report 12. Radio Free Asia reported that China's Center for Disease Control recently issued infectious disease prevention guidelines for the Spring Festival, recommending measures resembling "test all who should be tested" from the Dynamic Zero COVID policy. On January 17, the National Health Commission noted that China is entering a peak respiratory infection period involving COVID-19, influenza, and other pneumonia pathogens. Many Chinese netizens reported overcrowded hospitals with patients experiencing symptoms like coughing, headaches, and diarrhea. Though tests often confirmed COVID-19, doctors frequently diagnosed these as common colds or flu, suggesting a resurgence of the virus. News Report 13. Red Star News reported that 2 luxury villas in Guzhou Village, Rongxian County, Yulin City, Guangxi, were demolished after being left unclaimed. The illegal structures, covering 630 square meters with 1,800 square meters of floor space, were built in a forested area without authorization. In October 2023, authorities issued a notice requiring the owners to demolish the structures voluntarily, but no response was received. The government subsequently carried out the demolition. News Report 14. United Daily News reported that in the LG Cup World Go Championship final on January 22 in Seoul, Chinese player Ku Jia was disqualified after a rule violation during his match against South Korea's Byun Sang-il. In November, the Korean Go Association updated its rules to mandate placing captured pieces into a designated box for counting at the end of the game. Violating this rule incurs a 2-point penalty on the first offense and disqualification on the second. Ku Jia received a warning after his 18th move for not following the rule and was disqualified after his 80th move. Chinese Go team coach Yubin noted that Ku Jia had been reminded of the rule before the match but had reverted to his habit of placing pieces on the table. Although the rule is considered unreasonable by some, the judgment was consistent with the established regulations.